The latest free tank is available currently on World of Tanks console, and today's video is going to go over how you can get your hands on the Tiger 1 hammer along with the brand new premium, the Super M48 for Cold War as well. So we're going to cover all of the update news that you need to know for this week, and of course let me know what you think of the update if you've already jumped on. So without further ado, how do you complete the Tiger 1? Well, I think to begin with, should you complete the Tiger 1? And I guess we should give it a little bit of an idea as to whether or not this vehicle is any good. Well, my short answer, for those of you that want to find out very quickly, is that the Tiger 1 hammer is amazing, and that is because it has 240 alpha. It's got very good penetration for the tier. Remember, this is a tier 7 premium heavy tank from the German line, and it also has a very nice rate of fire, which means that the damage per minute for a heavy tank is about 2,000, so it's really good for a tier 7 heavy, and that means that you can out DPM a lot of medium tanks at tier 7, so because balance and stuff like that is just apparently not needed. You also then get 1,550 hit points if that wasn't enough, which I believe is more than the Tech Tree hammer, or Tiger 1 I should say, because balance and stuff like that. And yeah, just overall the Tiger 1 hammer is 100% worth it. So now that I've gone through that, it was a very whistle-stop tour of the Tiger 1 hammer, but without further ado, let's actually see how you can pick it up, because if you have the time, I basically recommend you to do it. So this kind of operation is a case of completing a variety of different set challenges. Now, the first one for stage 1 is very simple. Typically, it gets harder and harder and harder as you go through, and the first one is just win a battle and earn 2,400 or more XP in any number of battles. So pretty easy, there's probably maybe 2-3 battles at most. So really easy, going to give you a couple of rewards, which are typically just your standard med kit, repair kit, fire suppressor, and a little bit of silver as well. And these rewards get better with the longer you go on in the stage until you get the tank for free. But the key thing about these is that they focus on having an XP amount that you need to have completed. So for the hammer, you need to continuously be able to generate XP playing whatever tank that you want to play. So you can play Cold War, you can play World War II. It doesn't really matter which one you want to do. But as you go into stage 2, you need to win a battle. You need to place in the top 5 XP earners on your team. And you also need to earn 3,600 or more XP. Then you get pretty much the same rewards, but you get a 1.25 times silver booster in that and a little bit more silver than the previous one. So you can see the trend. We can stop on every single one. The kind of most notable thing is that the XP requirement pretty much doubles as you go through the stages. So every single stage that is additional will basically double how much XP you need to have completed before you can then move on to the next stage. So it becomes very quickly a case of you need to get the XP as opposed to the other challenges, because they basically become secondary. So for example, deal that 6,500 damage. Usually by the time you've earned 7,200 or more XP, you would have easily have got over 6,500 damage. So you don't really have to worry about those. The only challenges that kind of differ from that are more of destroy 2 or more vehicles while enemy is within 100 meters in any number of battles, but that is pretty easy as well. And in the 7,200, you will have probably completed that as well. But you can see as you go forward, you go up to 14,000 or more XP, you then go up to 31,000, you're then up to 65,000, and then up to 140,000, and then up to 288,000. So in total, you will have needed to ground out 500,000 XP approximately to be able to pick up the hammer, just over 500,000 as well. So it's definitely not an easy task for a player that typically may play casually, but in order to actually pick up the hammer, you do have over a decent amount of time. So you've got September, you've got October, and then you've got a little bit of November as well. So you've got about eight weeks, nearly, 6 weeks or something like that. So a month and a half to be able to complete it. I think generally you'd probably be able to do that if you play about, 20 games a week or something like that maybe. But you're going to have to play a lot. So I don't even know. I don't even know if 20 games is enough. It's probably more like 50 a week, which is like, I don't know, 5 games a day. So yeah, I mean, it might be difficult for a casual player. And I think Wargaming have just been gradually increasing the requirements to get all of these free tanks, which I get gets people playing the game or grinding out to get them, but it's a lot of work, especially considering most of the players that play World of Tanks console are casual players. So yeah, it's pretty disgusting. But if you then decide you just want to buy the tank, which I'm sure is probably a better use of your time, to be honest with you, because in order to grind out 288,000 XP, by my own calculations, it will probably take you in the region, say you get 60 not 60 battles an hour, probably like 40 battles an hour. You're gonna then get maybe 1,000 XP per battle. And that's if you're like grinding through just a ton of low tier battles, which you can do in about like 2 minutes if you just kind of YOLO in, but no one's going to want to do that. It's not very nice. And of course, you still have to do well in each battle. So maybe even be looking at like, I don't know, 20 battles in one singular hour. So you're going to have to play tens of hours, if not days, to be able to complete it, because the average player, maybe 1,000 XP per game if you take into account boosts and stuff like that. And then, 10k XP an hour. It's not a lot for a base amount. So yeah, you're going to be needing a lot of time and money and energy to be able to complete this. So yeah, I'd highly recommend just thinking and weighing up whether you really want the tank, and if it's going to be better for you, your mentality and also enjoyment of the game, to just literally buy the tank for like £5 and save yourself like days of actually grinding the game. So yeah, I mean, in my personal opinion, if I really wanted the hammer and I was at stage 7 having ground out like 200,000 XP and it said, oh, I need to grind out 288,000 XP, paying 4,000 gold to be able to complete it might be worth it. I mean, probably not. I think that this is not cumulative either, actually. So maybe it will be 8,000 gold. It's probably not worth it. I mean, even if that was like 20 quid, for the amount of hours, you're going to be paying like £1 an hour for your time, essentially. So yeah, it's completely down to you anyway. I'm not going to get too far into it. We could go and we can make a spreadsheet and we can tell you how many hours it's going to take you on average. But yeah, I just think if you want to save yourself some time, buy it. If you're not interested in the tank and you're not interested in grinding out a ton of time, then yeah, don't worry about it and just literally go about your life as you usually would on World of Tanks. And just, if it happens to complete, it happens to complete. Don't worry about it. But that is the hammer contract. My personal opinion on it is that it is way too long for the majority of players to be able to complete this easily. And I'm not saying it should be easy. I'm just saying I hate it when Wargaming implement contracts which require you to just spend so much time. Like on average, for an average player that's maybe played 5,000 battles, they're going to have to play genuinely like 750 battles to be able to get the Tiger 1 hammer, taking an average XP of 750 per game, and that's on not including like actually losing. So you could be looking at 1,000 games just to be able to pick up one tier 7 premium tank, which you can go in and buy from the store for like 3,000 gold. And so yeah, 1,000 games or spending like £8 or something like that. I don't know which I'd rather. I don't know. To be honest with you, paying £8 is a hell of a lot less of a punishment than actually just grinding out 1,000 games on this game. So yeah, make of that what you will and decide upon what you want to do with this contract. And even if you're going to focus on it, other than that, we can have a look at the new premium tank, which is the Super M48. And this is the vehicle that Wargaming have released. It's an M48 with a load of spaced armor slapped all over it. You can see it has side skirts now that have got some extra spaced armor. You've also got a turret with a thick slab on it, which makes it actually usable. Of course, it is a premium tank, so you have to pay for it, and it isn't a cheap one either. 12,900 gold, costing about £40 if you want to pick this thing up, and I highly don't recommend spending £40 on any singular tank in World of Tanks, but that is completely down to you. I just think that it's a lot of money, and there's so many other things that I'd rather buy with my money on World of Tanks that buying one premium tank is just not the way to go. But of course, you may be in a different financial situation where spending £40 is pocket change, and hats off to you if you're in that position. But yeah, for the actual enjoyment that you'll get out of 40 quid, probably not worth it in the Super M48. Of course, if you want to check out the full details where we go through everything you need to know on the tank characteristics, the sort of playstyle this thing is going to be on, then I highly recommend you check out the video at the end of this one. I will link it on screen. You just have to click on it and you can see all about the M48 in detail. But we'll get onto the kind of core objectives of this week's update, so you guys will just get a brief for this week. So the other things that we've also got released this week is a new premium bonus, and the tanks that you can effectively get 50% more silver and XP on from tier 5 and upwards, so that's including the tier 5. You will be able to get 50% more silver and XP, which is amazing for grinding through and also earning some silver, and especially when you compare it with some of the other operations that we've got going on this week as well. But the tanks that you can pick up are the T110E5, which is a very, very good heavy tank in my personal opinion. It was one of my firsts, and it was a very, very all-rounder. It is the all-round heavy tank. It has a little bit of armor, has fantastic gun stats. It has really, really nice turret, other than the fact of this cupola, but it did get buffed, so it can actually bounce a few off of that now. And yeah, just brilliant aim time, accuracy, everything that you really need in a heavy tank, especially if you're more of an aggressive player, which is what I like the T110E5 for. Then there is the Panzer 7, which is the King Lerva. This tank is also as part of the premium bonus, so all of the tanks leading up to it will be part of it. I did a full German tech tree review, so you can have a look at that if you want, yesterday as of the recording of this video, so you can have a look at all of the German tech trees. I'm talking from the light tanks to the artillery to the tank destroyers. Everything above tier 5, tier 5 and above is kind of recorded within that video, so you can have a look at that as part of the tech tree series that I'm doing on this channel. Every now and again you'll see those cropping up every 2 weeks, I believe, so keep an eye out for those. But the Panzer KPFW7 is within that, and it is a interesting tank. It's definitely not a amazing tank because of the weak points that you'll see here. There's kind of this flat area here. The gun mantlet's a bit crap as well. The lower plate can be a little bit of a pain in the arse against some of the high penetration tanks that you'll come up against. So yeah, overall, it's okay, but I feel like you'd be better off playing the E100 in probably more scenarios than playing this. So there you go. And then the other tank is the FV217 Badger, which is basically an on-track event for the FV215B183 as well. So you'll be able to get 50% XP and silver leading up to both the Badger and the FV215B183, which is fantastic. Of course, the Badger is a tank that I find very annoying to play, and I will probably do a review of each of these tanks as we go through this next week and during the premium bonus event weeks, so you can get an idea as to how they play in game. But other than that, the Badger, that's okay, but I prefer the Tortoise down at tier 9, tier for tier. It's just a better tank. So there you go in terms of the premium bonus. Now, there's also the Tanks for Free XP event that's going on as well, so you can have a look at the full list of those on screen right now. They're basically featuring a lot of autoloaders for some reason this time around, but we're seeing some of the most notable being the T3488, the T54E2, the TS5, things like the EOC Even 90. We've got the E25, the Alf Klarings Panzer Panther, the T50-2, the Progetto. So there's some interesting ones in there that are kind of the most notable. There's a load more. There's also the Banshee Comet, which I've recently done a video on, which I absolutely loved. The Beast of Britain, and just it was such a brilliant tank to actually go back and have a look and revisit it. It was just a pleasure to play, but probably not for the most players in this game. It's just more of a kind of British thing, I think, maybe. But other than that, we've also then got with honours. So if you place in the top 5 XP earners on your team in a battle, you will earn 25% extra silver on that battle. It's available 3 times per day, and then you can join that up with the tier 8, 9 and 10 XP event, where you can enjoy double XP on your battles by completing one of the following. So deal at least 500 damage, deal at least 500 spotting damage, or detect 2 or more vehicles in a surviving battle. So any one of those 3 different challenges, if you complete them, you'll get double XP on your battles, which is amazing, and that's applicable to tier 8, 9 and 10. So yeah, crazy. Really definitely going to be one of the best times to grind through tier 8 tanks, especially if they're on the premium bonus, so just keep an eye out for that. So it's a pretty short update news this week, so let me know what you think of the Tiger 1 hammer contract. That's kind of the most controversial thing this week, of course, having to get 500 and something thousand XP to be able to complete it, along with all of the other challenges that are available with it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of that, and of course, if you've picked up the new Super M48, let me know how that tank plays. I will be doing a full review of this vehicle this week, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And of course, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.